Live from the Preston Highway Studios, it's 24-hour Purple People.
Well, hello and welcome back to 24-hour Purple People. My name is John Harper, and we are absolutely thrilled to have you along for the ride today as we are all set to talk everything Louisville City, Racing Lou, and all sorts of Louisville-related activities. It's going to be a rainbow of fun today here on 24-hour Purple People. And on today's program, Louisville City finds themselves landing in first place after a win against the Rowdies. Racing runs rampant over the Royals, and was Saturday the greatest substitution moment in the history of Louisville City? We'll discuss that and a lot more. And joining me for this program on this fine evening, he is the master of dungeons, the spinner of tunes, the builder of vans, and a servant to cats, the photo bomber himself, Mr. Ken Luther. Ken, what's up?
Hey, I may be a spinner of tunes, but I tell you what, that DJ Friday night, DJ C's, I had to look a long way to figure out how to pronounce that. She crushed it. If anybody heard her spinning on the rain delay, that was some fantastic house music going across the stadium.
Yes, it was, and we will be up and dancing when we meet our next panelist. He is the author of the Purple Prose, the ultimate warrior of poetry, and he is the Unabomber in purple. Show some love for Matt Dalton. Matt, how's it going, sir?
I'm good, Johnny. It's been a stressful day, but I'm here amongst friends. We're gonna talk some footy. It's gonna be good. I'm really looking forward to the show.
That's the spirit. Yes, it has been a stressful day, but a 6-point weekend makes Mondays all that much better. We're hoping we will get another one of those 6-point weekends coming up as both teams play on Saturday evening at the same exact time, mind you. So, I don't know, bummer there. But what's not a bummer is we have highlights, and we're going to start with racing, a Friday evening matchup against the Utah Royals, a team that we felt like we were going to have a competitive match with, but we liked our chances against the Utah Royals. And how about we look at some lineups here? This is what is this? This is not right.
Yeah, okay, wrong teams, but that's a good start.
Well,
we're rocking and rolling.
Hold on 1 second here. There it is.
Yeah,
there it is. All right. So your favorite moment of the show, Matt's favorite moment too, although he's not on screen right now. Hold on, Matt. All right, Ken, take it away.
Yeah. So I think we called it. We knew Sarah Weber was going to come in for the Kayla Fisher serving on the red card. Every other name on this starting lineup is not a surprise. I think it's our starting 11 minus Kayla. And I also think that we'll see later on that Sarah Weber certainly proved her worth. I think they call her Swebs or something like that.
Swebs, that's a good one.
Swebs, yes.
You will notice Emma Sears is lined up on the left tonight. She's usually on the right. So assistant coach Mitch Sowerby, who was running training last week while Bev completed some licensing certifications with the SF. So they said they wanted to exploit a matchup between Emma and Utah right back Yanni Thompson because she put in 180 minutes for Denmark over the international break. So let's wait about 10 minutes of game time, and we'll see if any of that comes to fruition. Let's see if they were good to do that.
Very intriguing. Very intriguing.
Yes,
indeed.
it was. Yeah.
Foreshadowing, y'all. Foreshadowing.
We had some players on international duties as well, so a lot of rest needed before this matchup, and it was a rainy night at Lynn Family Stadium.
Rainy night, and all the smoke they lit off was kind of sitting there on the field.
Which it was just hanging out.
Probably my favorite way to watch soccer is through the smoke. I love that kind of experience when it's sitting on that humidity. I'm going to say competitive match. Very competitive match. That goal right there, I think, was a little bit of a fluke. I think Ellie Jean was talking about it in the post interviews, and she said it just kind of clattered into her feet, bounced around, and deflected into the goal. It happens. They didn't lose a step though. They kept playing their game, so I was not too worried. Even when they scored, I was not too worried.
They wouldn't have that lead for long, fortunately.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, Katie O'Kane Speaking of,
What do you think's going to happen
Looking at-
now?
let's see.
I think I'll cut to the inside. I think I'll cut to the inside again, and whammo!
Oh,
Well,
look
what
at that
are we?
movement on that ball. I hope they show that again on replay.
Yeah,
Let me get it going. Hold on one second. I'll show it.
Yeah, we were sitting up in the corner when we
There we
saw
go.
that,
Oh, nice angle, John. Yeah, yeah.
Thank
and
you.
that ball was moving so fast. I don't think I even saw it. Sears just took it. She cuts once, cuts again, sets herself up. Boom.
I wanted to give a little Chris Berman whoop and a whoop. Oh yeah, that's her 6th of the year. Fantastic. She's one behind the league leader now, and she tries to tie that league leader a few more times throughout this game.
She had some chances, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But what a goal! It's up for
Might be
goal
the-
of the week too. I think.
Good. That's got to be her best goal all year.
Yeah, vote Sears, people. Vote Sears.
Vote early and often.
Yeah,
And we're
so
getting tested a little bit right here.
constantly a threat would be Taylor Flint in that. Yeah, we're getting tested right there. But I thought one of Jordan Bloomer's best saves that she has is to that near post. You'll see her do that at least 2 or 3 times in this game. That might not have been going in, but she made sure nonetheless, which I think was the right call. So I'm certainly satisfied with her decision making.
Yeah, 6 saves on the
Bloomer's,
night.
Her reaction time for a lot of these is just phenomenal. I mean,
Yep.
like her
Again,
movement
near
off the
post.
blocks, like from just a dead stop to diving for that. I mean, good shit.
Yep. Again, near post right there. And she has at least one more in the second half. And steps in front. Boom. Textbook header right down to the ground, giving the keeper no chance.
LAG, 1st of the year.
Awesomeness.
She had a really good cut inside to kind of lose coverage within that little melee there in the front.
Yep. She cut right through him right there and right in front of him and nothing. Right down to the ground. Perfect.
Her first NWSL go.
So I think everybody thought this was offside.
Yep.
But
You'll actually see Bev in this replay
Yeah.
put her hand up as well.
yeah. But truth be told, she was onside by about 2 inches.
The timing of that run is world class
Yeah, it
from
was.
Bianca St. George. I mean, really good stuff.
I think Emma should have put it away there. She had probably a little bit more time than she thought she had, and she might have been able to go to the near post there, but not going to happen.
Not to be that time. There's Flint getting a shot on goal.
Yeah,
I was thoroughly entertained at halftime, man. I thought we looked great. We were in a shootout, and I had quite a few racing seltzers. Like I was ready to go.
Yeah, we probably should talk about that because none of us were driving that night. So we decided to let loose with the credit card and buy up all the liquor in the stadium. And we visited John's favorite bartender, Kelly. And Kelly now has a new name known as Long Pour Kelly. And it got a little bit blurry at the end of the game.
You know, it had been a while since we did that.
True statement.
Look at that. I mean, Bloomer.
I
That
think
was sitting there again.
save 1 for Bloomer and save 2 for the woodwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a little lucky on that one.
I think we did.
Sitner she had a brace against Jamaica, but Jordan Bloomer doesn't give a shit about that.
Nope.
Does it count? Does it
Did you
count if
see
it's
her-
not in the fam?
See the expression on her face when she's watching that ball hit the post.
You can like see her say "oh shit" in slow motion.
Yep, that's what she was saying. This is another one that probably should have been put away.
I
And
thought she was going to bury this one.
over the one, almost killed our drummer Nikki there.
Yeah, I thought when she made this run, watching it live, I thought, okay, she's just going to bury this. This is it.
Mhm.
That's a great run. Great run.
Just a little bit high, yeah.
She, I think he got subbed off not too long after. You know, she had all those Canadian games on her legs and this game, so not surprising that she was going to come off in the 60-minute mark.
That was a fancy pass there.
This was beautiful. Beautiful book, ticky tacky, right in that corner. Unfortunately, Malay didn't quite get it right at the end. Taylor Flint
So
doing Taylor Flint
here.
stuff.
Yeah.
And here we go. See you later. No argument. I'm walking. And I'm walking. See you later.
I mean, that's a pretty bad tackle if you're
It
on a
was.
yellow.
It
Yes.
was. They
I mean,
said,
she put her whole leg in there.
Yeah.
they said it was a slip, but she was definitely left her leg kind of dangling out there.
No.
That's a yellow card. Come on.
Yeah, all day.
So yeah, it was feisty all the way up until the end of the game too. So it was a tremendously exciting game to watch. The long poor Kelly might have helped that as well, but
We'll be working out of the back here. Would you like to see?
certainly.
Certainly. We
And-
certainly like to see it.
And Taylor Flint gives you so many options when you're doing that. And I think Jordan Bloomer is pretty good with her feet too. So she's also giving us another option to be able to work out of the back there.
And it looks here like we maybe lose it, but nobody tells Lauren Malay.
Mm-mm.
Nobody told Lauren Malay they lost it. Look at that little shuttle pass over to
And
Sav.
Oh, could have been another one right there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's getting late in the game. The legs are getting heavy. Don't worry, Sav. You'll get some more. That's some beautiful stuff right there.
We're not done though, Ken. We're not
We're
done.
not.
There's
We're
more
not
beautiful
done?
stuff
What?
to come.
Not
What
by
are you
a
saying,
long
man?
shot. Not by a long shot.
You're gonna see Aaron Wright. Look at this pass. Cuts through that Utah line. Emma with the snap judgment just to send that to the corner. Keeper gets a hand on it, but
it was close if it was going in. Like you really can't tell, but you can't falter for taking that shot.
Well, it is a corner. And
Here
that
we go.
corner was fruitful.
5'0" with the looper. Boom.
So do you think she was just trying to center that back into the box, or was she going for goal all day?
Well, I think she was trying to put it in the dangerous area. You get a little bit more force on the ball when you head it back towards the way it came. If you got people crashing that post, it's either going to go in or somebody's going to be able to put it in if they can get a hold of it. So you're giving your team a couple of chances, either from an assist or an actual goal, if you're getting players crashing that post. So I absolutely think that was the right call.
Oh yeah, trying to create chaos, right? Like if you're in front of goal mouth like that, I mean, just put it in and see what happens.
You're going to see the same thing in the City game, which we'll talk about, which is the ball coming across, headed back towards that far corner there, and then people crashing the post. I mean, it's a textbook way to give your team dangerous chances.
Yes, dangerous chances, and another first of many goals, hopefully, for Weber, the former Cornhusker, in her debut season and her first goal in NWSL. So that was very exciting to see. Clutch
You can't
moment.
call somebody a Cornhusker.
Oh, I can if they are one.
That's
So massive celebrations that put us in 5th. We dropped to 6th based on results for this year, and we celebrated by going to play. And it's good.
Oh yeah, we did do that, didn't we?
We did.
That was a lot of fun.
We ended up at play, watching the shows. I was on the dance floor, drinking down vodka cranberries, hoping they would get some antioxidants in my bloodstream. Didn't really work.
Yeah, the cranberry, very healthy choice, Ken. Very healthy choice with the vodka.
Yes. Really watching your figure there.
Your doctor would be proud.
Yes. I'll make sure I tell him that when I see him on Wednesday.
Racing is now unbeaten in 5 of 6 of their last matches. And they found themselves going into Saturday in 5th place, but then after the weekend, they're in 6th. Tied right there with the Rain, if I'm not mistaken. So, good stuff from Racing. This is, we've talked about before, probably the best run of play we've seen out of them in ever. Quite some
I think
time.
you can drop it probably at this point. You can drop
Yeah.
that probably.
It is
for
best
certain.
Yep. So
The
things
vibes
are really
are great.
Yes, things are really clicking in the right direction. This was post-match little celebration. My social media guy took a picture of that for us, so that was real nice. Thank you,
Nice.
social media guy.
Thank him. Thank
Yes.
him.
Yeah, racing had a lot of opportunities in that match. Some of those, Ken, I think you alluded on, probably should have found the back of the net, and we're hoping that, Emma Sears, obviously she's just getting started, right? So we're gonna see her continue to get better at those opportunities, but when you go up a player the way that we did, you just expect, racing kind of a little throwback here, showing Louisville City how it's done when you're up a player. So yeah, that was exciting. A great way to kick off the soccer weekend. And yes, that was a fun evening, gentlemen. If you're wondering, my ankle is okay though.
Oh yeah, you hurt your ankle dancing, did you?
No, I think I heard it walking down the railroad tracks, which is the not the way to go back toward Butchertown Market area. People don't do that.
Well, I saw you on the dance floor in some platform heels, and I thought you were moving excellently. I just assumed that's where your ankle.
I'm pretty
got
sure
messed
that was
up.
it.
I had a
But
fantastic.
you looked great.
Well, you look
Really,
great.
really accentuates your calves. It's just a good look, man.
I was going for the calf in situation, so thank you. Glad that came across so well. Well, we weren't done though, gentlemen. We got up. If you were like me, like 10 a.m. After a crazy night, and we brushed off everything and took like the fourth shower in the last 24 hours, and then we got ready for Louisville City, some tailgating action beforehand, and Louisville City hosting Tampa Bay on Saturday night, a team that still sits at 5 points after Saturday. Rain on the forecast for racing, rain on the forecast for Louisville City. This has been the rainiest start for a season that I can remember. It seems like every time we play, rain is on the forecast. Wednesday looks like it's going to be clear. I haven't looked at Saturday yet, but God,
Rain.
Mother Nature is just not being very friendly to us. But let's watch some Louisville City highlights, shall we? It's Pride Night for Louisville City as well. A lot of fun. Yep. A lot of fun. Pride's always a lot of fun.
Okay, Kane getting the start in midfield for LouCity. That's
excellent.
A big
look at that.
Change up. You just switch from the week before.
Just have some patience here, okay? You just have some patience.
Hey, look at that 0 in our record. That's pretty good.
Yep.
Oh, that's
good. Look at that.
As long as it's in the middle or on the right. If it's on the left, it's not good.
Tampa Bay, worst team in the league. All right. I'm pretty sure that is not how they lined up, but we'll go with it. It's all good. Maybe, Wilson seems to have that kind of freedom to move around quite a little bit underneath our kind of strike forces. Goodrum seems to be more in the middle, and Serrano seems to be more of a flanker, but they're fairly fluid. One of the things I really like about Louisville City this year is they're incredibly organized, whether it's in the attack or it's in the transition or it's the defense. They seemingly know where all of their teammates are. And that is incredibly impressive to watch, especially when you're very high in the stands.
We were very high in the stands.
We were. Row X, as high as you can get.
Very, very high. Yeah. I actually took a couple pictures from up there. I'll show them here in a little bit. All right, gentlemen. Yeah, we were very optimistic about this match. I wanted to see a shellacking. We didn't quite get the shellacking. We'll talk more about that as we get going with these highlights. Tampa Bay, nobody cares about their lineup. Let's just be honest. All right.
You guys like what do you guys think about Tampa kits? What about the hoops?
I've always liked them. I've always liked the Tampa. I always think they do a fairly good job with their kits because they're always a little bit different.
Great. Yeah.
I hate to say it. Their team's trash right now, but they've always had really good kits.
Yeah, their branding, their kits. Yeah, it's fantastic. The color scheme, it's all great. the soccer's bad, but everything else is fantastic.
Yeah. All the way back to the 70s, they've always had really good kits. So we'll give them that.
I'll have to take your word for that.
I actually remember that. Yikes. All right, here we go. from kickoff till about 20-25 minutes, we were taking them. I can't say that. We were dominating them. I thought.
I agree.
Any sniff they had of the ball, we were pressing them out. Our
casual
attacks were looking
lob.
dangerous.
Yeah, Goodrum said it was the best 15 minutes of soccer that the club had played all year.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Very quotable, Phil. Very quotable. Good one on that one.
But that's great. It was only 15 minutes.
Yes, that's the problem.
Just there was a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say that this was one of these games that was a win that you feel good that you won, but you feel like you should have won by more. You know?
So, and it feels like these highlights are trying to pad the runtime out because there's a lot of just meandering sort of passing back and forth that they included in these highlights, and I don't understand why. Maybe they're trying to get the ad revenue, right? Because you got to be like over 10 minutes.
Wow, that's it. And
when do we get the ad revenue?
Yeah, no kidding. Are we supporting them? Is that what's happening here?
I think so. I'm not doing this for free, Johnny. All right, I've
You're
been
not?
very clear about this. No.
Oh,
yeah.
I want points on the back end.
Across, see those two players crash to that post right there? Boom, one of them's going to get it because it was Goodrum and Dia from McFadden. You know, a very similar maneuver that we saw with Weber, who was heading to that post.
Well, I got
Tim Malloy's happy.
Yeah. Look at Tim Malloy going crazy.
So the one thing I will say about this goal is we were at the very top of the stadium, and I turned to Ken and I said, I think he shouldered that in, I'm pretty sure. And we'll never know because there's no VAR in USL. So
there it is. So that's his third, right? So he's starting to be a little bit more consistent in the scoring department, which is exactly what we hired him for.
I knew with this, you can see the press sort of, especially when you're up high, you can see the press sort of like the vice sort of start to constrict, that bear trap start to snap shut a little bit. We saw that time and time again. Like you said, Ken, the first 25.
Yeah, you know, when you saw him pick up the ball in the back and start to try to move it forward, that means Tampa Bay, you would just see purple shirts descend on them from almost every direction. Knocking it loose, getting the ball back.
Leo Fernandez, man, you can't lose it there.
No. So Taylor's going to step up and take this with his left foot, I believe. I guess he's our designated free kick taker with the left foot when it's in this kind of position right here. I think the other option was Ray Serrano up there. I don't know, maybe a little bit more drop because it was about a foot high. I think it was.
Could use some Cam.
Could
Cam
use
Lancaster magic on that one.
Yeah, sure could. It'd be interesting if Cam plays more minutes in the future and Taylor's on the field, who's going to be taking a lot of the free kicks. We'll see.
So here, again, you can see they're in trouble already.
Yep.
It's right on the reset. They're in trouble. They don't know what to do. They're getting frazzled. Davila with the left foot pokes it out. Serrano with the finish. How's that for a goal? Pin station.
Bam. 5 on the year.
Look at that. He's hyped up on fresh squeezed lemonade. There's the groove machine.
Half knee slide. They always go to that corner. You notice that?
It's the rabbit hole bar corner, man. We got to start hanging out over there more often.
I guess so.
That's the racing
right
spot.
Finishes. They looked really calm in a lot of this too, which is I guess to be expected. But it seemed like they were just running all this stuff casually. Like, this is not a big deal. This is just kind of who we are as a team. We're just kind of dictating the pace, the flow of the game, doing what we want to do. We didn't look worried. But as you'll see, we took our foot off the gas a little bit.
Seemed like it.
Yeah. Loss had 3 saves on the night, by the way. There's one of them.
Yeah, it definitely seems once we got that 2-goal lead, there wasn't as much intensity.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, it's going to be difficult to maintain that intensity throughout the entire game. But I really think that 2 goals, as the lore goes, is one of the most dangerous leads in soccer.
That was sort of the point. That was the point that I was going to make as well, is that you can't sustain this for 90 minutes, right? Like at some point you have to be able to kind of pass the game off to your defenders and have them rely on them, right? And I get that, but the problem is sometimes when you turn it off, it's difficult to turn it back on again. And when what happens is about to happen, you sometimes you need to turn it back on again.
Yeah,
a lot of
kind of turning over the ball in the middle of the field there, which you're kind of losing a little bit of oomph on your press. They're getting through your lines now, and the momentum is turning. But that's the mark of a true professional team, is to be able to turn it off and turn it on when you need to. Did we do that?
Look, well, in the second half, we only had 4 shots. So attack-wise, I don't think we did that. But it feels like we didn't. Maybe they felt they didn't need to. Maybe it was a deliberate choice.
That right there is
obviously it worked out.
Yeah, that's one of those awkward. The ball's falling. Don't know if it's going to fall right behind the keeper. Don't want to be embarrassed like that. So we're going to let Ron Weasley take the corner.
I try to think of a lot of Ginger jokes, but I didn't come up with any. I'll be better prepared next time we play Tampa. Sorry, Ollie, I'll let you down.
He's one of their better players.
He's good. Yeah,
he's very good.
If we signed Ollie Bassett, I'd be wearing like red wigs to the game.
I'd be all right.
I'd be all over that.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me, a little Ronnie Howard, kicking the ball out there in the midfield. Again, I just think they're padding this runtime out on these highlights.
They are. It's also demonstrating us that they were kind of slowing the tempo down significantly after they went 2 goals up.
Yeah, it's a
good crowd right there.
We haven't got to halftime yet, but I mean, Tampa Bay did step up their possession in the second half, and I mean, they seemed like they held with us after that initial start of the game where we just felt like we were just dominating them. Things kind of changed a little bit over time, but I do feel like we continue to play good defense throughout this match.
Yeah, they're going to get a boost of energy from.
Look at this! Look at this shit. He's got 3
right here.
3 players around him. Still has the ball. Passes it off. 2 players around him. Still has the ball. Passes it off. Streaking up. Okay, now he's got it. He's got 2 players around him right there. Still has the ball.
That's more than 2. That's more than 2 players. Pacius.
And we saw it the whole way. We're like, get it, all the way from their end of the field. We saw him move it forward, and I felt it. I felt that goal coming right there.
Yeah, the whole thing kind of unfolded before us as we were watching. And I mean, credit to Pacius. I mean, this is a great goal. He's a great young player.
Well, credit to other players that pulled it out of the back and somehow didn't lose it. And
I will say this again because I think it bears to mention, we are statistically the best defense in the league. And they did that. They ran right through our midfield. Right through all of our lines. So, I mean, credit to Tampa Bay.
That was a transition goal, that's for sure. And then the rest of the game was, kind of, what do you call it? Squeaky bum time, right? This is 60 some odd minutes of squeaky bum time, thinking that they could come back and tie at any moment, when the expectation was you're winning by 2 or more goals.
So not shown here in any of these highlights. The other problem that had sort of developed around this time was that Arturo Ordonez was playing on a yellow. So you've got your center back, your center back, and your back 3. and he was making some pretty heavy contact and some pretty heavy tackles out there.
He was.
It looked like he was sort of daring the ref to make a call at some point, but luckily for us, that didn't happen. But he got pretty aggressive.
I recall yelling, "Quit grabbing his kit." I don't know if you remember that or not, but
I didn't even know you were there, John.
No. Fair enough.
He made the trek all the way up to Row X.
Yeah, you refilled your oxygen bottle halfway through, and then you made it all the way up to the top.
Yeah,
the Sherpas carried you up there.
Brilliant idea.
We're at the top, I think probably about now. And Matt turns to me and says, when I go down, I'm not coming back up. It's not happening.
Nope. I was too hungover for that. Not today, Ron Weasley. How does Jarbos not get sued by the Nintendo Corporation, first of all?
Yeah, that doesn't look a lot like Mario, does it not?
He looks like Mario and the Monopoly guy had a baby.
Yeah. That's pretty accurate.
Yes, this is too close, too much. We can't be having any of this. Mm-hmm. No free crosses, no free lunch. Yeah. I was not a big fan of some of these moments of the game because it definitely felt like at this point in the first half, the momentum had shifted to Tampa Bay.
For sure.
And we know they have the talent to be able to come back at us. They just haven't put shit together yet.
And they need something to get their season going, right? I mean, they've got a lot to play for. Not that we don't, but even at the bottom of the table, they got a lot to play for.
And they are legitimately the worst team in the USL.
Yes. And I hope they stay that way. Thanks, Tampa. Hope they stay that way.
Yeah,
so a lot of the
off the tongue.
Yeah, a lot of the second half is going to play out in front of loss, which I don't even think you're really going to see in these highlights because I think they just cut off at some point, to be honest.
Most videos generally do.
So I think Taylor Davila, best player on the pitch again, being rock solid in the midfield, even though we had some difficulty in the transition play a little bit, and even though there were some turnovers at awkward times, I still think he's kind of ruling that portion of the pitch. Speculative.
Shot off yeah, that was a Serrano shot there.
I thought that was good.
And I thought that I thought in the second half, we did see a lot of really good defending on our part. I think you're not going to see any of it in the highlights for some reason. Maybe if they were shilling for like Subway or something during these defensive plays, then they would have included that. But like Toch in particular had some excellent individual moments to kind of seal this one for us. And on top of that, Niall McCabe, Cameron Lancaster, subbed in together. Sean Toch bailed us out. What year is this, guys? What year is this?
2017, maybe 2018.
It is a championship year. I hope is the eternal answer to that question.
Yes, championship year. Yeah, Kyle Adams too.
Yep,
for sure. Rock solid in the back. Again,
there's a Josh Jones appearance.
In a defensive role as opposed to a offensive role, right? So one of those little plays right there,
that one
ball can easily get knocked in.
Yeah, 100%. Great clearance here. I believe that's Toch. Yeah, he gets the final clearance there as it kind of gets battered around. But this wasn't the only spot that he had where he made a really good heads-up play that kind of saved our skin there.
Definitely squeaky bum.
I don't recall if my bum was squeaky at this point, but I was paying more. Yeah, we'll get into that. We actually have a section of the show dedicated to that a little later on.
Okay, see.
We'll go over everybody's health in that area.
All right,
6 points.
6 points.
6 points.
So we really have no position to complain, but we're gonna anyway. because that's what we do. I
It's a
thought
first place team.
yeah,
Complaining about.
First place, we won, but I think we should have won by more. That's what I'm going to complain about. Standards are high.
What do you
The
think?
standards are very high.
What do you think prevented us from scoring more, Ken?
I really think they momentum shift. There was probably that happened in the first half after when Tampa Bay scored that goal, and then I think we were playing more to hold the lead as opposed to extend the lead. If that makes any sense.
Can I play devil's advocate here for a moment?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to paraphrase Kevin Malone from The Office, and I'm going to say, why score more goal when few goal work just as well? If you can have these defensive stands, if you can work the transition back well, if you can get back like we did in that second half, I mean, maybe we didn't need to score that many goals. Maybe it just wasn't necessary.
No. I want my anxiety reduced. I want a big lead, and I want to celebrate lots of goals and light off lots of smoke bombs and jump up and down a lot.
However, my anxiety needs a lot more than that to get it manageable. But I appreciate that sentiment.
It was nice seeing Cam Lancaster come on.
Yes,
I think we anticipated his role as coming on late in the game, subbing in for Goodrum and maintaining that high press. I was talking, I think you all were there. We were talking with Niall McCabe Friday night, and Niall McCabe stated that Cam still has tremendous finishing capability. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. Other good news coming from camp is it sounds like Brian Ownby is going to be coming back soon.
Hey.
He had a big injury, and then favoring that big injury, he got another little injury on a different leg or something like that. Should be over that, be able to start playing. Gleedle also is not too far out from him coming back, so we're going to have a feast of lots of strikers and lots of options, which is good because we've got a lot of games coming up in the near future.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
To touch on a little bit of what you were saying about Cam coming in sort of in those waning moments of the game, him and Niall, I really like the way Danny uses Niall. I like that he has him on the field sparingly, but also in really pivotal moments. And more of the same for Cam. I mean, seems like a really good thing. So these guys have earned the right to hang out on the bench for 80 or so minutes and then just come in and mop up at the end. Like they've earned that right. So
I'm sure they'd like to start, but I think
I'm sure they want to play the whole game.
Watching some of the interviews with Cam, he's perfectly happy with his role that will be coming in off the bench for the most part. And Niall, he's doing a stellar job. He's that wily veteran. I know where to be and how to play and how to manage the rest of the game to get that win.
Wiley is like the perfect way to describe Niall. I mean, he's so smart. He's so fucking smart.
Yeah, soccer IQ off the chart.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to the tailgaters. Some really cool, what I like to call Pride Works in the parking lot before the match. They looked really neat. You're about to get the grand tour here. This is the bus that has been sitting at the tailgate, and we're really not exactly sure why. And then Katie thought I was making some serious bus documentary. Pride Smoke, always fun before the matches.
Yeah,
as you can tell. Now, a quick little story. So, I usually will help with the Pride Smoke. So, those of you that are familiar with this already know this, but right down there in front of where we have the Boys of Butchertown banner, there's ADA seating. Okay, so at the front, so some area there designated. Well, somebody had kind of went over and said, hey, these smoke containers are right there on the rail, attached to the rail in front of these seats. And I look, I go down there and getting ready, and I'm like, what color am I? Whatever. And so we go to pop the smoke, and I look over, and we've got people sitting there, and I said, has anybody told them what's about to happen right here? And Matt said, LouCity Sting said, yeah, we told them, and they said they're cool with it. And I said, no, no, you must tell them for real. So I go over there and I go, there's going to be intense smoke right here. Intense smoke right after the national anthem. You might want to back out of here or whatever you can do to get out of this area, because it's going to be bad for everyone. It's going to look awesome. It's going to be bad. So after
it's going to look like a Revolutionary War firing line in a second.
Yes. Luckily, right after that, I looked over during the national anthem, and everybody had moved away from the front of it, and it went off without a hitch. But always looks cool. And I think I have a shot here of the Row X. Oh, yes, here it is. This is the shot of Row X. Now, this is the highest possible place you can get. And when you know that Ken photobombed me here. But this is right next to the camera pad that only CBS Sports uses. But it was a great view, gentlemen. I was very pissed when I got up to the top of those stairs. I was thinking, damn you, Ken. This is the stupidest idea you've ever had. P is fine. X is too high.
Nope, it's not the stupidest idea I've ever had. You know that.
Well, yes, that's true.
That is very true. I would X again. I would go back up. I'm just saying.
I mean, it
you were
is
complaining.
I was pretty hesitant, but I'm cool with it now.
I mean, it's a pretty cool view. Pretty cool view.
I had Matt and Rebecca behind me, and I didn't tell them how high I was going. I just started walking. All the way up.
By the time I got to Row X, I was like, where am I? Like on this picture, Row X is like, let's see, where's my little? It's like right. This is about like right where we were in the first half. Now we were down a little bit lower for the second one. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let's see if I can.
Those are clouds, right, John? So we're actually above. We're like above the atmosphere in Row X, is what you're saying.
Above the atmosphere, right? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm going to bring this picture now. If you look here closely, gentlemen, there is a man here who is on the shoulders of his comrades up there having a brewski. So this was actually shot from the capo stand. That's a rare look.
Very nice. Very nice.
So there you go. There was our personal.
I hope you finished that beer.
We better have finished it. I needed actually a Gatorade after going up to Row X, to be honest with you. But
come on!
I continued with the beer. I know. I just whatever.
We wanted to be as high as possible, right?
That's usually my goal on game days.
You got that
Get as high as possible.
As high as possible.
Well, speaking of getting high as possible, Rhode Island isn't so high on the table. All they are in the playoff hunt, to say the least. And we know the Tide pretty well. The players from Pawtucket, as I like to call them, are coming to Lynn Family Stadium on a Wednesday midweek match against Rhode Island, a team that obviously we have a pretty sour taste in our mouths about. Have not seen them since last November. We're trying to forget about it. But nevertheless, we'll be seeing them Wednesday. Ken, you are familiar with Rhode Island as far as a state. Can you tell me anything about their soccer club?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, this is the only USL team in the championship, including the Western Conference, that we have not beaten. The only one. So this is going to be an interesting match for a couple of reasons. One, I already stated. They've had our number. They're not as good potentially this year. So they are kind of struggling to find their footing. But as I recall, they weren't great at the beginning of last year either. And then they came on strong at the end of the year. So let us make sure that this is not when they come on strong. We're going to have potentially some player rotation issues because we're coming off a match on Saturday. We've got a match on Wednesday, and we're still a little bit thin in the ranks up front. People are getting healthy, but they're not completely healthy yet. I do expect to see our natural starters up there, including Goodroom up top, including our 3 defensemen in the back, including Taylor, Davila, and Lambert in the midfield. I think Lambert has solidified himself as part of the starting 11. Serrano and Wilson, and who am I missing? I'm missing a whole bunch of people, but those are the folks that I would expect to see. We'll probably see some rotation around the margins, but that kind of center swath on our team is who we're going to see start there. You might see some earlier subs, especially from the likes of Cam Lancaster. It depends on how the game goes. I think that those decisions will be reserved for when we get into the thick of it and we see how they're setting up. They don't have the type of depth. I think they lost a couple players from last year. If anybody knows off the top of their head, they've got very quality players, but it just doesn't seem like I say Dickwa. They still have Dickwa. He was a lot of trouble last year, as I recall.
Yes. Maxi Rodriguez, another familiar face,
yeah,
starting up next to him.
He's getting a little up there in age, is he not?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
So he's been 29 years old. I take that back. It's funny. I was talking to somebody at the tailgate, and they were pointing out everything I get wrong, which is awesome. I'm just keeping everybody on their toes because I do get a lot of shit wrong. That's okay. And
fact check us.
And please fact check me and point it out when I say that we played. What did I say? I said we played Richmond
at Richmond.
We played them here. It happens. I'm getting older. I can't remember everything. So I think we can win this game. I think we have kind of a little mental thing because this is a team that we've never beaten. But I think it's time to overcome that.
Matt, do you think we have a little mental thing against a team that is, they're just not finding the back of the net much, are they?
You would think that there is. So I think that this did get circled maybe on the calendar. I think that they do want to go out there and show Rhode Island that you are an anomaly. The rest of the league has to deal. This is what the rest of the league has to deal with. All right.
What does circled on the calendar mean, though? I mean, does it mean you're going to eat an extra bowl of Wheaties in the morning and really get after them? I mean, they have a process. They do the same process, albeit this time it's going to be a little bit shorter because it's a midweek game. Nice.
Well, there's probably a little revenge they would like to exercise a few of the demons at Lynn Family Stadium. Of course, this is not a playoff situation, but there might be a little bit there. I can tell you that this is a team that takes a whole lot of shots. If you look at the stats here, Rhode Island takes the second most shots of any team in the entire USL, but they are ranked 20th in goals per match. They also play a pretty stifly defense, only allowing an average of 1 goal per match. Guess what the number one team, I guess you could say this somewhat defensively, but the number one team in goals conceded this season is? Anybody want to take a guess?
Is that Louisville City?
Louisville City FC, gentlemen. So as we were talking about some of the things that we're not liking on offense, we need to talk about a little bit how defensively mindset that Louisville City has had, a defensive mindset they've had this season. And I would like to let's put the loss naysayers to bed with that stat as well, please. I know there's things. There was a little issue with the hair on Saturday, gentlemen. A little issue with the hair, but he has played stellar.
Lots of tremendous hair. Tremendous hair. Don't disparage.
You can't say anything about Loss's hair. I mean, the only person with better hair than Loss is Kyle Adams.
That's true.
Because we're halfway there.
Yes, that is true.
To all those Loss haters out there, I think you got to embrace it. You just got to, whenever he charges at somebody, you got to get hyped. You got to charge with him. All right.
he's an aggressive goalkeeper, but I think that's why he's on the team. I think that's why Cruz puts him in, is because he is aggressive. He will play forward. So you bite your nails sometimes, but he's making the saves and we're winning the games. So you can't complain too much. Let's go back to the defensive thing. I remember watching the last game when we were in the stands fairly high and we were in transition. I think it was the second half, so we were only about halfway up. And Louisville City was moving back, but they were moving back, staying organized the whole time. Somebody behind us just was oohing and awing about their ability to stay organized and move back as a unit and maintain the defensive posture in the transition play. And I think that's one of our greatest strengths is our organizational aptitude in the defense. It's what we worked on all off season and is certainly paying big dividends this season so far.
At the end of last season, we were actually, I think, moving really well as a unit also. I think this is a Danny Cruz trademark at this point.
Yeah,
super Danny Cruz. And while I'm thinking about it, just thank you for that Nile and Lancaster substitution. That was a special moment. But yeah, coach has got this
Did you guys
team
get
ready.
Goosebumps?
Oh, dude, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And that place erupted. Can we talk about how loud Lynn Family Stadium got in that moment? That was pretty awesome. Sorry to circle back to that. But
also props to the banner hangers. I think one of them was on this podcast for hanging the Cameron Lancaster banner up again.
Hey, you're welcome.
Lancaster.
Yeah, I'll do that again. Yeah.
Good job, Matt. Yeah, while we're on the topic, congratulations, Mike Watts. Just had a baby girl last week, so that Lancaster banner is a Mike Watts reference as well. All of his goal calls were always Lancaster.
Lancaster.
Oh, that's where it comes from. I was asking. Rebecca was asking me that. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. Well, we know where the Legion.
I can hear it in my head like vividly.
Yes, and that little bit of a crack at the end, like, oh, love it. Well, we know where the Legion comes from. They come from Birmingham. They're going to come all the way up I-65 on Saturday evening at Lynn Family Stadium, a 7:30 kickoff against the Birmingham Legion, a team that, we really love travel. A lot of people love traveling to Birmingham. Seems like a really good place to visit for a match. Got some good breweries down there. We've got some better breweries here in Louisville and a better team here in Louisville. Ain't that right, Ken?
We certainly do. Yeah, I think if you're going to see games where some of our strikers that don't normally start, this is where it's going to be.
8 o'clock start, by the way.
8 o'clock start, yeah. So
good one.
Cam Lancaster, for lack of any other strikers, is going to start, he'll probably start on this game. We'll see if I'm right on Saturday.
Don't forget about Cano.
Ooh. Okay, yes. And we're also welcoming back one of our favorite adversaries by the name Enzo Martino.
No, God.
I actually like him. If he played for us, I think I'd like him. Most people don't say it. And Van Okel also is another goalkeeper we know very well. He's the oldest, most pot-bellied goalkeeper, I think, in the USL right now, but he's very good. So kind of sucks sometimes. They also have Pasher, right? Do I see that? Am I reading that correctly?
So this lineup, I don't know why they're in the position they're in. They've got Tyler Pasher, they've got Enzo Martinez, they've got Ronaldo Damas, and they've got Danny Trejo. That on paper is a good team.
Yeah, maybe. Looks like they're
obviously
scored on a lot
in real life, though. So
yeah, Enzo's. He hasn't been doing a whole lot. He didn't do a whole lot last year. He's getting a little long in the tooth, 34 years old. He's been around a while. He's a fun player to watch for drama, but I don't think he's having the greatest of seasons. But Tyler Pasher is fast as God. And if he still has that kind of speed that he was showing us a couple years ago, let's see, he'll be going up against, maybe Manny. Manny's going to play. Is Manny hurt? Was Manny on the bench last game?
That's a really good question.
Where was Manny?
I bet nobody knows the answer to off the top of their heads.
Oh, man.
Some show this is.
This is
This is why we don't get paid.
We are professionals.
Ken,
He was not even on the bench.
I want to circle back to something. What was that you said about Enzo Martinez? If he played for Louisville City, you would. What was it again?
I'd like him.
Yeah,
I'd like him.
Would you? All right. All right. So, Matt, any closing thoughts on Birmingham before we wrap it up with our racing preview?
I also I enjoy playing Birmingham because my wife hates Enzo Martinez, hates him.
Most
And
normal people
she's-
do.
Yeah, she's really cute when she's mad, so that's why I like playing Birmingham.
Well,
they're just like Sprite bottles last time you played them.
yes, they did. They had like Sprite Zero kits. It wasn't just regular Sprite, right? It was like Sprite Zero or something. I was like, what? This is random. Yeah, the Legion. We
I
always
wanted them
seem
to wear like cap hats.
Yeah,
like bottle caps, but
we always seem to
alas.
play the Legion and seem to always be a pretty competitive game. Oh, you're still muted. You're still red carded. Kaylor Hodges and his gang of misfits that come to town. They all seem like nice people. So anyway, all right. Well, hello and welcome back.
I was baited into that red card. You asked me that question a second time, and then you gave me it. That should have been.
I was going to
yellow.
push
True.
it. I was going
it
to
should have been
push
on the
it.
initial infraction.
You baited me.
You baited him.
I was gonna
True.
push it. I was gonna push it as soon as you said it. I just didn't want to cut off your train of thought there. You had something going, so I didn't want to mess with it.
He was giving me advantage.
Plus, you see,
Not
it's
cool.
when I red card people, there's a secondary part of that it's too much to do it right there in the moment. So I have to do things, but something else we got to do real quick here. Not real quick. We can take hours on this if you want.
Yeah.
7:30 kickoff. A true test. Our class
here we go.
test.
Mhm.
Matt, I think we were kind of messaging on our Discord. We were messaging on our Discord about this matchup being, obviously, it is the early season test to see where racing is. Kansas City Current, first place in the NWSL. At their place, a beautiful new stadium in Kansas City, specifically for this club. A lot of hype around this team, Matt. What do you see out of KC?
Okay, it's a test for sure, right? First place KC at KC. It's a tall order, and we could list a ton of reasons why Racing should lose this game, right? So Kansas City's front three of Tim Chawinga and Beatriz and Michelle Cooper have combined for 13 goals and 5 assists. That's pretty good. That's 18 goal involvements if you're not a mathlete. Those are 3 reasons right there why Racing should not win this game. But the vibes are immaculate, people. Bev really got this. They got this team to buy in, right? They're all on board, which is a first for any racing team, I believe. And I mean, it's been rough being a racing fan and a racing player for a while now, but they're so fun to watch right now. We had to wait 4 years to say that, but I just think it makes it sweeter. And now is the best time to perp. There's never been a better time to start following the team and get to perping with them.
I think Laura Malay's going to have her hands filled with Chawinga, but I think she's up to the task. Chawinga
More
is
fights, man.
a special type of player, so it's going to take a team effort to hold on to you. If you look at the table and you look at the teams that have the best form in the past 5 games, it's Kansas City and Racing Louisville.
Hey,
2 teams that have the best form in the past 5 games. So this is a clash of top teams. I know a lot of people across the NWSL world don't give us a lot of credit right now, and they're giving teams that have historical, wins and championships and all that a lot more credit just because they've done that 5-10 years ago. But for current form right now, it's us and them. So this is going to be great.
So this is a matchup of the 2 hottest teams in the league, is what you're saying.
It is.
Racing Louisville marketers, get on it. Yeah. This is the kind of stuff, these are the kind of stories that you need to start pushing.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a match that I think we're all excited to see. Obviously, nervous about it, just being that they're such a class organization, class team, and they're leading the league in goals or leading the league in goals conceded. they got a lot of good, fancy, good stats, and the most important one of all is they're number one on the table. Racing has a chance to get up a little bit higher on the table. It depends on how the other games go, but right now we're sitting in a pretty comfortable playoff position if we can just kind of maintain this. And but what a win this could be. Going to Kansas City it's a tough environment to play. Saturday it's going to be a ruckus crowd, but we know how to meet ruckus away supporters, and that's with heavy metal press.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think Weber's up to task on that. Obviously we're still not going to have Kayla Fisher back yet.
2 more games.
But I'm okay with where we're at on who we're going to be able to field. I would like to see a little bit more time from some of our players that have been injured or whatnot, Ari Borges and Uchenna Kanu. But I think that we have a very good shot. We play pretty well in hostile environments so far this season. Kind of sucks that it's the same time as the Louisville City game, but we'll just watch it on delay after the fact.
Now, I don't want to look past this game because it's Kansas City. You shouldn't and can't look past this game. But I do want to kind of touch in on Racing's upcoming schedule, right?
Yep.
So we've got Kansas City. After that, we've got Orlando, who is, I believe, second on the table.
And they just
We've got
blanked
Kansas.
Chicago 6-0.
That's Chicago, though. We've got Kansas City again after that. And then we've got Orlando again after that.
I know.
And
Who
then
did
we've
this
got
schedule?
Washington.
Who did this schedule?
This is a really, really difficult stretch. I think we're in the Utah win was big for a lot of reasons, but I think it was really big because it put us in a much better position where we're not we can not comfortably cede points during this next stand with these top contenders, but we are in a good position. We do have a good foot to stand on going into this. And if we could pick up, the majority of the points going forward in this stretch, that's huge coming out the other side of it. Also, look at our schedule after that. It's looking pretty solid. We're looking all right.
Yeah, and we have a lot of away games after next weekend's on the 19th. It is that after that match, I think we're on the road until August. So a very important stretch coming up for Racing. So I'm going to take a very important stretch right after this program's over with, which is coming up right about this time. That QR code is to our Discord. You're invited to our Discord and join us.
You just took it off the screen.
Yeah, I took it off the screen. You're right. I'll put it back on there. But yeah, check out our Discord. Join us and have fun talking about random stuff. Speaking of random stuff, there's an audio version of this. If you thought the video version was random, just wait to hear the audio version. It's completely random, and it's on Spotify, available just about every time we upload a show. Also, don't forget that like button, subscribe to our channel for more ridiculous content. Gentlemen, any closing thoughts? Ken, I'll start with you.
No, I'm just really looking forward to all these soccer games we got coming at us. I'm going to have a whole lot of fun, and I can't wait to see people at the stadium, listen to tunes at the tailgate, and being loud at the games.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun and a lot of nice compliments from different people. I would want to say to one particular person that I am the more sexy John and always will be. Matt, any closing thoughts?
I guess I'm just going to use that as a jumping off point, aside from that last part, which I'm going to forget. Thanks to everybody that came up and said hello and said such nice things about the show. It was really cool. I'm sorry I'm so awkward, but there's nothing I can do about it. You get what you get, so soccer's about making connections with your community, right? Yep. Ultimately. And that was one of my big goals for doing this show in general, is to connect more with my soccer community. So thanks for coming up and saying hey.
Yeah. You got to meet.
Don't correct me though. Correct Ken. Don't correct me because I'm very sensitive.
Yeah, correct me because I have no idea what I'm talking about ever. So,
and you got to meet Al too.
Yeah, I got to meet Al finally. Al, shout out, great guy.
So cool. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching today's program. Don't forget to hit that like button. Comment in the comments if you'd like to comment. For Ken Luther and Matt Dalton, my name's John Harper, and we are 24-Hour Purple People. We will see you next time, Purple Family. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. I love you.